A very good day, dear esteemed viewer, and welcome to our today's edition of Citizens Under the Law. Citizens Under the Law is a program aimed at demystifying all issues standing as strange before the gullible heirs and laypersons. Citizens Under the Law, in a simpler form, is a program aimed at letting the citizens know their rights, defend their rights, and become law-abiding citizens. It is happening here live on ABS Television Channel 24. Okay, you can also get us on Star Times 113 and Metro Digital 29. Our topic for today is Rights of the Unborn Child. And with me here in the studio to get the I's and T's dotted and crossed vis-a-vis provision of answers to all the questions is a respectable gentleman in the bar profession, in the legal profession from the Nigerian bar. I am talking about Barrister Larry Emeka Nwangu. Counsel, you're welcome to the studio.
Good evening, presenter.
Yeah, my name is Jude Mascot Obiago. I am the anchor of the program. Many a times we talk about the unborn child. A lot of things happen to the unborn child. Either the unborn child is removed through abortion, or that the unborn child, either the unborn child suffers from what one may call a domestic violence, accident whose fault. A lot of things may happen to the unborn child, but this unborn child has gotten some rights in law. And that is why we say we want to look at the rights of the unborn child today in our today's edition of Citizens and the Law. And hence, Counsel, I want you to help us directly with by telling the viewer out there, myself, what exactly is an unborn child.
Unborn child, as the literally means a child that is still under the incubation of the mother. That is a simple explanation as to what an unborn child is.
An unborn child is a child still into the incubation of the mother from the period of conception before the day of delivery, not on the day of delivery. And away from that, then, one may begin to think, this unborn child, when we look at it, does it involve or include legal and illegal? Do we have a legal unborn child and illegal unborn child looking at the conception? You get where I'm going?
Legality of
unborn child or illegality of unborn child. An unborn child, at times when they are giving birth, they are called bastards. Some of them are called sons of the soil when they grow up. From this angle, I want you to look at it briefly.
Actually, the legality or illegality of a child that is still under the incubation of the mother or that is conceived, the law is not always very quick, to label any child illegal, or because the process of conception sometimes is best known to the mother. That a woman is not married and conceives, she has a right, because legally a man must have impregnated her, and she knows the person who impregnated her. It's a question of her wanting to assert, this is the father of my son. And if we do DNA tests, you will find out who actually is the father. So the issue of illegality it does not affect an unborn child. The issue of illegality does not.
What if even though the DNA test is done, still the father could not be determined because some ladies are raped.
The father
some we are raped.
A person can be determined, not conception by the power of Holy Ghost. It is only Mary that has such conception. But for every woman, either the sperm of a man is inserted in her in order for her to, conceive or whatever. Those are the processes of conception. And the issue of illegality at that early stage,
rape.
even when a woman is raped, There are, should we say, the Christian ideology. It depends on values, or it also depends on religion, because the issue of abortion is a very heated argument. And some will tell you that you need to preserve the unborn child. You need to, because it's a human being. And others will tell you, since the father is a rapist or whatever, you should abort it. But this also depends on the legal or domestic legal provisions of various jurisdictions.
There is a town somewhere in Imo State, or let me say somewhere in Nigeria, Imo State people, I'm sorry, where girls, either they kidnap them or by whatever means, numbering about 20, they are there only to produce kids illegally. And they are paid peanut at the end of the day. And they are there by force. So how do you look at this? The babies in their womb, they are conceived out of illegality. What's the fate of those babies?
Actually, the issue of legality or illegality, because those are baby factories. You know, we know where some people put up a home, and any young female, some conceive in the universities, anywhere, and being our culture being that any person who conceive out of wedlock is deemed to have committed an abomination. And in so doing, that person will not be ashamed to go back home. And these homes are provided, you know, for them to deliver those child. They take care of them, take care of their antenatals and things like that until they deliver. And when they deliver, under arrangement, if they do not want it. But such homes, our laws has come up to say that each of such homes must go through legal procedure for them to be permitted by law to run such a home. So that it wouldn't be a situation where you kidnap people under duress, you force them to be, you put men up to them to impregnate them, and at the end of the day, you sell those children, or you say you have adopted them to some other persons. Those things has to go through legal procedure so that the law can authenticate them. That is my take on that.
Well, you are watching Citizens and the Law on ABS Television, Channel 2 for Oka, and the topic is Rise of the Unborn Child. We have to take a short break here.
I like healthy food. I love tasty food.
You don't have to compromise on health or taste when making your meals. With new Mamador seasoning cubes, you can cook delicious meals and still take care of your family's health. The only seasoning cubes with 30% RDA of iron and zinc to boost your family's immune system while satisfying their taste buds with a unique, long-lasting flavor. Available in chicken, beef, and classic flavors.
Council, I want to ask you, from whatever angle one may look at it, so far we have discussed, how can the rights of these kids be preserved and protected?
Actually, the law actually gives right to, because in some jurisdiction, they are classified as human beings, children yet unborn child, fetus are also regarded as a living being. In some jurisdiction also, they are seen as they are not human. For instance, when you look at El Salvador, the right accorded to an unborn child is even more in number and more grounded in their laws than the right accorded to a living, to a child born, and also to the mother who is incubating the child. While in Canada, a fetus and a child yet unborn within the mother's incubation is always regarded as not a human being. So you see, the laws has a way they tend to look at them. But Michael Hens, his opinion concerning these issues also seems to be in line with, Nigerian position with the unborn child. When he was looking at the Universal Declaration of Human Rights of 1948, he says that that right did not make any exception between the unborn child and the child that is born, that all of them in the eye of the law are human beings.
Okay, what's your take on somebody who caused the pregnant woman to miscarry an unborn child?
When a person causes a pregnant woman to miscarry unborn child, our law, section 228 of our criminal code, actually see it as procuring abortion. And it did provide that a 14 years imprisonment awaits such a person because it is a situation where somebody with intent to procure abortion of a pregnant woman, a woman who is pregnant, or even when she is not pregnant, because you cannot determine, but that intent, to procure this miscarriage of that woman, then tend to administer to her any poison or nauseous substance, or uses any force or any other thing in order to cause that woman miscarriage. And when you look at it from that angle, you will now see that even force, application of force, can also fall within this section 228 of the Criminal Code of Nigeria.
To that extent, some pregnant mothers lost their lives and that of their unborn babies to domestic violence coming from their husbands. So in that case, what happens to the husband? What does law say?
Actually, a situation where a husband engages a wife in a pregnant woman, the imminent danger of such action, he must be ready, to owe up to it. It could be deemed as a murder or manslaughter, as the case may be, because, or even double murder, because the law looks at the unborn child as a human being, and the mother also as a human being. So the application of section 228 of our criminal law can be dragged into this, and if substantiated, he goes in for it, because you must always imagine what the consequences of your act will produce. A pregnant woman is a woman very delicate and should be handled with care. Engaging her in a fight or in beating her up, and in the process you hit her to cause her miscarriage, actually it amounts to
Not miscarriage, death.
To cause her death, to cause death to her. Then you must owe up to the final result of your action, because you must have imagined that this will be the result of your action.
But does that not amount to homicide?
That is what I have classified, that such a person can be charged for manslaughter and life imprisonment if convicted.
Manslaughter or murder?
Manslaughter, such a person, because he ordinarily, it could be a misunderstanding.
Who knows why? Who knows why? In these days, who knows why?
It depends on investigation. Police investigation will actually tell us what such a person ought to be charged. Whether
Because
it is
some men
a premeditated act.
Is it out of place that some men may actually decide to kill their wife indirectly in order to marry somebody that is out there?
Yes, I agree with you. But all this depends on police investigation reports. Because it is through the investigation that the police will be able to say whether this man had actually committed murder. The investigation report will reveal everything, or it was an act that was not premeditated. And in such situation, he could either be charged for murder or for manslaughter.
Let's look at America, for example. When you talk about unborn child in America, unborn child in Israel, are they the same thing with unborn child in Nigeria? Because I heard, you're here to tell me as a lawyer, that as soon as a woman is conceived, before you know it, the sex of the baby is known, and they have started taking care of the unborn child, vis-a-vis the kind of treatment, even the job, even the school, a lot of things that will be enjoyed by the unborn child, because already is in the population, unless something in that verse happen. Would you compare the care given to unborn child in Nigeria to the care given to unborn child in places like America and Israel, like I said?
I still maintain that this depends on jurisdiction, and it also depends on the existing laws. For instance, a jurisdiction where abortion is legalized, then the rights of unborn child amounts to nothing. If abortion is legalized, when they say it is of choice, I want to have it, I don't want to have it, the mother has the right to determine or to decide whether to keep this child or not to keep this child. You will see that such a child...
Is abortion legalized in Nigeria?
Abortion is not legalized in Nigeria because our laws actually did recognize that Chapter 4 of our Constitution, 1999 Constitution, fundamental rights. And these fundamental rights also, if you go to, also applies to the unborn child, because the unborn child ought to enjoy. We look at unborn child as a human, and that is the reason why abortion is not legalized. But in countries where it is legalized, then that unborn child has no right. That's the point I'm making.
Well, in Nigeria, where a pregnant woman has the tummy pierced into two or cut into two, the baby also killed. I don't know.
That is on situation of necessity. When we talk about situation of necessity, then the law can permit the aborting such a baby. The law can duly permit that. But if it is a situation of necessity, our law provides that aborting such a baby or destroying such a baby will never amount to any criminal act.
Destroying an unborn child, such as killing the mother and the child by means of machete, will not amount to any criminal charge?
No, that's not the response. I'm talking about a situation where the unborn child now constitutes a danger to the mother.
To the mother, okay. But what I'm saying, what I just asked you, or want you to add your voice is, before the Civil War, during the Civil War, even now in Nigeria, we hear cases of mothers killed, pregnant mothers, their abdomen, divided into two with a machete. Even the child, unborn baby, also killed. So what's your take on that?
I've answered this before now, that when you kill, because killing, there are so many methods. You can kill with gun, you can kill with machete, you can even kill with an axe. When you kill a mother and the unborn child, such killing can amount to double killing, double murder. It can amount to double murder. And in such a situation, such a person ordinarily can be charged.
Well, I'm coming back, Counsel. Thank you very much. Dear esteemed viewer, you are watching Citizens and the Law on ABS Television, Channel 2 for Oka. Citizens and the Law is a program aimed at demystifying all issues starting as strange before the gullible and laypersons. With me here in the studio is Barrister Larry Mekangwangu. And at this moment, I want to open the line so that our viewer out there will start making calls. You can call us on 090-729-72090 and also 070-627-24192. The numbers are clearly written on your screen. Let's get this caller here. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, your name and location, then you ask your question.
Good evening. This is engineer Isaac Nicodemus. I'm calling from Chukwuemeka Street. Okay.
Engineer who?
Engineer Isaac Nicodemus.
Okay, Engineer James, if I'm correct.
Yes, I'm calling from Chukwuemeka Street.
Okay, go ahead with your question, Engineer.
Yes. Yeah, good evening to the legal luminary of our time, Laurie. Good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening.
The subject of this call this evening is is quite interesting. Interesting. You see, here in Nigeria, you can't compare the way the right of unborn child is taken in the developed world like United States of America. And I want to categorically state here that because we don't have the attitude of observing what unborn child, that the unborn child, God's image is involved, God's likeness is involved. And because of what we do here in Nigeria, the way to do our things here in Nigeria.
Okay. Thank you. Counsel, I think you've been addressing that response or that question he asked now. Nigeria and the international communities. Let me also include Britain, our colonial masters. I do think that they take care of the unborn child more than we do. A lot of things we fail to learn, even though a lot of waters are passing under the bridge via the colonial masters and all that. I want us to look at this issue of abortion, the position of law on procurement of abortion in Nigeria. I think, hello, somebody is calling us again. Hello?
Yes, I called back.
Okay, Engineer, go ahead.
I want to finish up by asking, what happened, what does laws stipulate about the right of unborn child, the right of a child in the womb, as well as the right of a child? What does it stipulate? And what happens to anyone who has an act of abortion? Here in Nigeria, you see a mother conceive, the mother knows the father of the child, irrespective of one act that made such a unborn child to come in place. And you see people like the medics involving in such an act. What the law stipulates as the penalty to such a thing. Because here in Nigeria, the rule of law has to take its effect right from the child of the unborn child. Thank you, God bless you.
Yeah, thank you. James?
Actually, to what James is asking, regarding our own law, with respect to the right of an unborn child, even a mother under our own law, under Section 229 of the Criminal Code, does not have any right to even procure her own miscarriage. And in so doing, the law says that if any intent of that woman in order to procure her own miscarriage.
You may have to add another question to that. Go ahead. We are getting some calls here. Go ahead.
So, as I was saying, a woman who is incubating a fetus in her womb, be it 2, 3, 4, 5 months, cannot procure the miscarriage, her own miscarriage. Under Section 229 of our Criminal Code, it makes it illegal. And punishment for that is 7 years. 7 years imprisonment.
Let's pick this caller. Hello? Okay, we lost that one. You may have to call back again. Okay, Council, what do you have to say about this issue of abortion, procurement of abortion in Nigeria? What's the position of the law on this procurement of abortion? We have a caller before that. Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening. Your name and location, then your question.
I still remain engineer John Paul, calling from Tudome local district here in Oka.
Yes, engineer, you have another question to ask?
Yes, I have a question to ask.
Go ahead, engineer.
You see, nowadays, or these days, you find out that a father is married to a girl child. Because the girl child is impregnated by some and the girl child knew it. And because of the personality of the parents in the society, they want to compromise abortion. And that is why I'm asking the legal luminary here in the studio. What does the law stipulate? And how is Nigerian Bar Association in the jurisdiction execute such if they found out such a thing was going on or is going on? That is my, I just want to know.
Okay, Council, you heard him well.
His question also goes with the last question you have just asked. He is talking about procurement of abortion.
Yeah.
And when you set out, to abort a child, if it is not under necessity, just like necessity when the child constitutes a danger to the mother incubating such a child. This is a point of necessity, a situation of necessity, which medically it is advisable that instead of losing two people, the unborn child can, go for the mother in order for her to live. But a situation where you have an intent to procure the miscarriage of a woman who is either with a child or without a child, either by way of administering to her a poison or a nauseous substance, or even by force of any kind, or by doing any other thing in order to cause her miscarriage, then the law says that it is an offense. It is a criminal offense. And if you are the husband who has procured this abortion, the section 228 of our criminal code will cut up with you. And like I have said, the imprisonment is 14 years imprisonment. Same thing applies to a woman who on her own, because she feels that she doesn't want this baby and she wants to flush it off. The law does not permit that. If the woman on her own moves ahead with an intent in order to cause her own miscarriage, either by administering to herself any poison or any nauseous substance or any force, or even permitting another person to cause her own miscarriage, the law says that under section 229 of the criminal code, that it is 7 years imprisonment. So that is the way our law has taken care of.
You mentioned something about a girl child from a prominent family and who is a victim of abortion. That is how he mentioned it. Did you get that?
A girl child is also classified, even if she is impregnated and a situation arises where the father and the mother now connive and believe that they don't want to bring shame to themselves, and then they now engineer abortion. It falls within procurement of abortion. They procure the abortion of the girl child. That is the way the law will look at it.
What has Nigerian government and the law enforcement agencies done since abortion is illegal, is an outlaw in Nigeria? What have we done? What have the government done, the judiciary done, to make sure that this issue of abortion is nipped in the bud in Nigeria?
There are so many reported cases of convictions, and this, I tell you, depends only when they are brought to the fore, because sometime, it might not even come to the knowledge of the police. Some girl child are raped, and even the parents who ought to facilitate the report of such offense and follow it up and ensure that the due process of law is followed, will want to seal it. Either they will say that it will bring shame to the family, or that it will prevent the girl in future from getting married. The law cannot make a pronouncement if the complainant is not willing to canvass his or her case.
Or when the high-ups in the society impregnates a girl, where will you take it to?
The police will definitely do their cases. It's only when they start negotiating and maybe they appease the girl child parents and they decide not to press a charge. If not, a charge ought to be pressed, and when it comes to court, the court will make a pronouncement based on the finding and investigation of the police.
How successful has a common man whose daughter got impregnated, how successful has his case been in getting at the rich man out there who impregnated the daughter? How successful has this case been? In Nigeria, you and I know very well, because things not checked and not stopped is only an avenue for evil, certain evil to continue.
I tell you one thing. In Nigeria here, a whole lot of people are not ready actually to actually assert their right, canvass their right, and get a pronouncement from the court. Most often, it is not even the police that is the problem. Most often, it is the individuals, because they are not willing to sacrifice time and energy in order to make a point.
Or financial indisposition.
Another issue also. Finance could also be, but Anambra state government has an arrangement where indigent people are also litigation-wise are taken care of. That's one of the things.
I want you to come very clear there. There's something you mentioned. You said Anambra state government, are they in a way assisting people who are not financially disposed? You use the word indigent.
Yes, through the Directorate of Citizens' Rights. Yeah. They have their destiny at the government house. This is a way of assisting indigent people who cannot actually prosecute their matters or canvass.
Who cannot fund their matters.
Exactly. They assist them. They provide litigation lawyers who assist them in canvassing their rights.
And government pays these lawyers?
Yes, government pays these lawyers. These are pro bono services which the state is rendering to its citizens.
I think this is where I want you to open your ears very well and hear. Because the government of Anambra State, I don't know of other states, if they may have come all out, assisting the poor people, assisting the indigent, assisting the financially indisposed people who are in one way or the other facing persecution and marginalization. The state government have laid down standby lawyers ready to assist you if you are on the side of justice. I think it's a very good information, because what you've just rightly said, I don't think a lot of people are not aware of that.
It could be.
Okay, you are still watching Citizens and the Law on ABS TV, Channel 24 Oka. You can also get us on Star Times, 113 and Metro Digital 29. We go on a break again. We'll come back shortly. Okay, if some people, or if government, or if the law says that the abortion is illegal, some people are out there supplying drugs for abortion. Council, abortion is illegal. What about those who supply the drugs for abortion? What does the law say there?
Yes, there are acts, that also encourage and assist people who intend to procure the abortion of a child. But the law will always want to look at a situation where the person who is supplying such drug, because there are certain drugs that has multifunctional purposes. The law will want to know whether the person supplying has the knowledge that the drug he is supplying will be put to use in procurement of a miscarriage of a pregnant woman. That knowledge is very material. And if it is found out that, such a person has that knowledge and that this drug or this medicine or that is going to be used for the procurement of a miscarriage of a woman, then Section 230 now comes in to play the role, and imprisonment of 3 years is provided for such people involved in such conduct and acts.
But even though the person may claim that he or she have no knowledge of what he or she is selling in the market, the law says the ignorance of the law. Is it an excuse? Or is the person a quack? Won't people deal on business they know very well about?
Yes, like you have said, that the ignorance of law is not an excuse. And in the medical or pharmaceutical line, there are certain type of drugs or medicines that you cannot sell without doctor's prescription. Like, for instance, Lezatan, the pharmacist will not sell such kind of drug to you unless you have doctor's prescription. And so also to this... All right.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, your name and location.
Hello?
Hello, we are hearing you clear. Your name and location. There you are, question. Go ahead, counsel.
So if you cannot hinge on the fact that you are not aware, because you know any person who professes to deal in some of these drugs definitely know the use and function of some of them. And that knowledge is what the law expects before you can be adjudged to have committed an offense.
Okay, thank you. What does the law say about carelessness of doctors from hospitals that has led to the death of many unborn children?
Well,
I was once present in a hospital where a pregnant woman was, producing some foams was coming out from her mouth, struggling for life and things like that. And the doctors came and passed by, only for them to say that she has no car, this and that. Until one man started barking like a dog, somebody who is not even the husband of the woman. So if eventually the woman dies, what happens? And the woman is carrying an unborn child.
Actually...
what does Nigerian law, what does the law say in Nigeria?
Actually, Section 303 of our criminal code imposes a duty on any person who professes to possess a skill, in surgery or administering medical treatment, to exercise reasonable skill and reasonable care. For such a death to amount to murder or manslaughter, as the case may be, the prosecution counsel actually need to prove to the court that the person that professes to possess such skill was not exercised.
No, counsel, get me. I'm talking about duty negligence.
That's where I am going.
Okay.
That's where I'm going.
Okay.
That section 303 of the Criminal Code actually imposes this duty that if you are a medical doctor or practitioner, even if you're an unskilled and an unqualified person, but you are administering surgical or medical treatment on any person, this duty of care also affects you. The duty of care is such that you are expected to exercise reasonable skill and reasonable care. So for you to say that this amounts to negligence or criminal negligence, you need to prove to the court that the height or the extent of the negligence was it was in disregard of human life, and that the person did not exercise any care. So you need to prove that the degree of this negligence for it to come under the criminal law.
Okay. Thank you, counsel. So there is in viewer. Sorry, counsel, I have to cut you short because we have our time has expired to leave the studios. So there is in viewer. This is where we cut the curtain in our today's edition of Citizens and the Law on ABS Television Channel 2 for Oka. Don't forget, we shall come back here next week, Monday, same time. But just before we go, I want to congratulate Barrister Larry Emeka Nwangu for coming in today's program. Thank you very much, counsel.
Thank you, presenter.
Okay, don't forget what we just handled is the rights of an unborn child, and I am just nobody better, Jude Mascot Biago, the presenter of this program. Thanks very much for being part of it.